So again, welcome to everyone. And we thank Lila Roa from the Philippines and Celine Doan from Vietnam in their courage to present to us their own reflection, their own experience of the spirituality of the heart in the public square. What is important for us is to realize that the spirituality of the heart already has an impact on the people in their field of work, in their professions, out there in the field of mission, either because they already heard and accepted the spirituality of the heart, or because we are in the process of sharing the spirituality of the heart with them from the perspective of the laity in the public square.
I'm TC, and I've got cool sculpting done on my stomach. Cooking soul food with my family is very important, and I try to
Try this strange 10-second technique tonight to reverse high blood sugar while you sleep. Most people continue to take blood sugar medication because they've been brainwashed by the medical establishment.
Celine, you will read again.
Yes. The Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. The good news of our salvation.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. We will now have a sharing composed of 3 people in each room. And the questions are, what is your personal experience of working with lay people? The second question is, in what ways were they salt and light? So I would like to suggest that you remember these questions, because now I will assign you to your respective rooms.
Father, excuse me.
Yes.
Are there only 6 of us?
There are 6 windows, but there are 2 communities.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, Father. Thank you.
Okay. Very nice. So welcome back to our plenary sharing. Now we will get some reflections, listen to some reflections from you. Maybe can you please show yourselves, Gerardos and Anching? Can you please turn on your video? Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Can we listen to Anching? Sharing ka Anching? You're muted. Unmute yourself. We cannot hear you. You go closer to the computer and then unmute it. Good.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Okay. We had dun sa isang community sa Cubao, wherein yung mga dolls, the sisters, community nila yun na palaging pinupuntahan. Meron kami noon na remedial teaching doon sa mga batang mahihina pagkagaling nila sa eskwelahan, mga taga-public
Just a moment.
schools.
I will translate it for you. We are in the Philippines, in Cubao, and sisters frequent our place, and they are now engaged in the teaching of the students. Okay.
Okay, and then because of the pandemic, the tutorial, the remedial teaching there was we were not able to go there anymore. And then during the pre-pandemic also, we had feeding. That's what's done once a month, feeding, and then talking with the parents. And one of our companion was teach how to make rosary beads. And hopefully this after this when COVID is no longer so there's so many cases, because there's still so many cases, we're planning to go back to that place to be able to have remedial teaching, feeding, talking with the parents. The community is a squatter area. It's a very small community, but there's so many people living there. That's all, Father.
Thank you very much, Anching. Wonderful from your lay experience and in the squatters area with the poor. The squatters area in the Philippines, we call that squatter because they don't own the land. And they just squat on the land, they put their dwelling on the land. Usually it's an one room, where everything happens for the whole family. Thank you, Anching. Could you mute yourself now, Anching?
Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Father. Thank you.
Could we, Gerardos, are you there? Gerardos? Okay. Can we go to the Harcher, Manila. Anybody from Harcher, Manila would like to share reflections? You come closer to the microphone and then unmute it so that we can hear you. There goes. Anybody from Harcher? Yeah, please come closer to the microphone so we can hear you.
Others?
Erwin and Hartford communities, we are together this afternoon because we came together for the special celebration for Mama Mary's birthday and for Sister Natalie's birthday. In our sharing, the different sisters here shared about their particular experiences with the people each one worked with. One with the mothers, one with parishioners, one in the school setup. And of these experiences, things that came up very strongly of becoming light or salt to the people we work with are present, our presence and availability with them, and then trying to empower them, especially in ministries like feeding and tutorial. Now, Ate Anching mentioned about tutorial and feeding in Matangtubi. But we also have these programs in other areas like in Cordova, Cebu, Marigondon, Lapu-Lapu City, no? And so these are some of the basic things how we become light and salt to the people we work with. The joyful welcoming of the people who come to us or to the people we go to, no? And being kind to them. These are the things that came up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you mute yourself now? We have varied experiences of appropriating the spirituality of the heart in the public square. Now, let's go to the religious. Sister Robin, would you like to share?
Yes, thank you, Father Ben. I think similar to the sisters from Hadza community is my own experience. That Celine and I shared, but with myself in my daily life, my ministry, in our work alongside in the education with our teachers, our associates, in my own teaching in different ministries that I have in teaching. I was just sharing how much I continually every day am inspired and learn by my companions. But I can just share one little story. There was a tragic accident in Sydney. 5 teenagers were killed on the road last night.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in Australia is sad and talking for this. But my students today, 2 different groups spoke about this. The father of one of those teenagers, he said, because 5 were killed and the driver, he was in his 20s. The others were all children, 13, 15-year-old. The driver, he didn't die. He's okay physically. But the father of one of those children said he doesn't hold any grudge, he doesn't blame. And everyone is talking about that, the father, his understanding heart for that man. Yes, it's an example of the light and the salt that we get from, that we religious get from our lay brothers and sisters. Celine shared somewhat personal stories, but sharing about her time in Australia and wonderful examples of from a doctor, her teachers and a doctor. And she spoke about the light that she herself has to share. And she said, His grace is sufficient for me. But we'll hear more from Celine anyway. Thank you, Father Ben.
Thank you, Robin. After the sharing, we will proceed to the PowerPoint presentation. Celine, you can now begin.
Yes, Father, thank you. So now I will share my own PowerPoint.
Okay. So I'll stop sharing then.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Very good.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me well?
Yes, very well. Thank you.
So, first of all, again, hello to everyone. I'm very happy to be with all of you here today. I am Tran, is Vietnamese name, and you can call me Celine or for Celine Doan. For an easy way to remember, you can relate my name to Celine Dion, the very famous singer, but I'm not a singer. I'm a special educator. Yeah. So I'm from Vietnam. It's a small country with a shape of letter S in Southeast Asia. I inherit many traits of Vietnamese women. It makes me proud of my origin in a loving will of God in my unique life. I was born and enrolled in Ho Chi Minh City, the biggest and the most developing country in Vietnam. So now I would like to share with you a short video clip about Vietnam. So please watch with me. kia.
Thấy người kia.
Tắt cái này đi.
Vì vậy cái mặt này
Hình như là stop share trước đi.
người kia đâu rồi.
Sorry, just
Mình nói đi.
ông phát ra đi cho nó yên.
Phát ra cái gì.
Okay. So I continue now. So Vietnam with diversity of culture and religions, and my family also has this color. It somehow makes us have to learn to live with the differences of others among our own family. Yes, our loving God has embroidered my colorful life throughout every little detail like that. He accompanies me, pursues me with his kindness, love, wisdom, and peace through many people, small and big events in my daily life. Thank him for his merciful compassion and power of love never ends. I grew up and enjoyed a religious life to become a nun for about 7 years totally in Vietnam and Thailand. Then once again, he helped me to make a difficult decision to leave my own plan, to let his better plan for me show and roll. Maybe as Mother Mary, who we celebrate her birthday today, as Abraham. Yeah, so I just go with, we just go with fiat, yes, and faith. He has proved his grace is sufficient for me, and I moved on. I have continued having an abundant life with God in my new way among the world as a normal lady, but not a mediocre one, but extraordinary because of my stronger and keep growing faith in reality of life. Working as a specialist in a field of special education and psychology for children with special needs. Then I got to know Young Lay MSc Vietnam group. At the time, it was very disadvantaged in all aspects. Even so, I have a deep impression about the remaining members who were really friendly, simple, and warm. I felt to be connected with them in a few points related to the image of Sacred Heart of Jesus and spirituality of the heart. Gradually, from participating with them just in changes, I became a frequent member and the leader of Young Lay MSc Vietnam from 2020 to 2021. The special time of mostly affected by the pandemic of COVID-19. Nevertheless, with the rays of Holy Spirit, our group had an awesome year of growth and connection of members from afar, and also some ones who had left the group for a long time, then rejoined and now being the active, deep, and creative ones in the group. Would like to introduce to you something about Young Lay MSC Vietnam. Young Lay MSC Vietnam was founded on October 29th of 2020. The year of 2008 by 2 Australian missionaries of the Sacred Heart, MSC, Father Robin Iwan and Father John Kim Toy. When the two of them carry out their missions in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Previously, in this city, they successfully established the group called G7, that the group of Spirit of Sacred Heart Association for married people. Following that success, they went to establish Young Lay MSC. Regarding the reason for the establishment of lay associations in parallel with the development of the missionary vocation of the Sacred Heart in Vietnam, in the spirit of Father Jules Chevalier, the Association of Missionary Laity is a living image and the most practical of the love of the Sacred Heart of God, which is the extension arm between the church and the depths of society. At places that are difficult for monks and priests to reach, because laity are the people who are living and working directly in the social environment, unlike religious priests with the parish or religious environment. In the early period, the group had the direct companionship of two brothers. Now they are priests, that Father Nguyễn Huy Hoàng and Father Nguyễn Như Thắng. He is now in Melbourne, I think. Melbourne or Sydney? Melbourne. Father Thắng. At that time, due to the lack of participants, the two brothers played the role of both group leader and spiritual director. After being established for a year, Young Lay MSC had officially had the first executive board from the court members or royal members, and two brothers had retired to the task of being spiritual guides and advisors for activities for Young Lay. So in this photo, this is the photo taken on the day of the founding mass of the Young Lay group. At that time, the participating members were all children and grandchildren of G7 group, the group I just mentioned above. And the number of participants at that time was very small, just 9 people. From the very beginning, the founding principle of the group was determined. This is an association group of lay people, a place for young people to gather together to advance in the moral life, faith, and relationship with the church. Like the missionaries of the Sacred Heart, Young Lay MSC also follows the spirituality of the heart through the image of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. The group has also defined, in addition to developing spiritual life, group is also a place where young people can learn and develop personal and social skills, and a place where young people can relax after days of school and work in the society. At that time, for political and religious reasons, like the missionaries of the Sacred Heart, young lay could not operate publicly and widely. But because of the benefits that I mentioned above, Young Lay MSC quickly received a warm response from the new members, known to the group only through the introduction from the current members. The group developed up to about 30 to 35 members at that time. This photo was taken on Christmas Day of 2009. Also, during this time, the group received favor from the congregation when they sent Father Andrew to accompany with Young Lay. He is the missionary priest of the Missionaries of the Sacred Heart of the Philippines to Vietnam. And also in this year, Young Lay MSC's executive board was established according to the method of voting from the royal members. The photo you are watching is of Father Andrew. With the goals when establishing Young Lay that I mentioned above, the time of the group meetings was always the third Sunday of the month with the same format. This activity is still remain until now. We have three parts. First, the private mass. That time, Father Andrew, we called him Ansau, like brother six, just as the Vietnamese way. He's held the mass for Young Lay MSC. The second part is share, discussed in groups about the content of a topic. And the last part is activities and entertainment. During that time, the group still had many difficulties regarding the place of activities. Where our group often gathered was the classroom of the kindergarten belonging to the Holy Rosary congregation. Here I invite you again to watch a video clip about Young Lay MSC Vietnam. This video was made by us on the occasion of the 12th anniversary of the founding of the youth of Young Lay in Vietnam recently, 2 years ago, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2 years. So yeah, enjoy.
Moving forward in the spirit, taking new steps with a trusting heart, sharing a vision to form our future, instruments in God's hands, missionaries of God's heart. taking new steps with a trusting heart, sharing a vision to form our future, instruments in God's hands, missionaries on God's heart. For all that has been and for all that is, for the toil in each mission place, we give thanks for the showings of God therein, the divine with a human face. Moving forward in the Spirit, taking new steps with a trusting heart, sharing a vision to form our future, instruments in.
Xin chào và xin chúc mừng các bạn nhân kỷ niệm 12 năm ngày thành lập Hiệp hội Thừa Sai Thánh Tâm Trẻ. Anh rất vui và rất vinh dự là được là thành viên của Hiệp hội Thừa Sai Thánh Tâm Trẻ ngay từ đầu. Và hôm nay anh rất vinh dự được chia sẻ với các bạn một vài cảm nghiệm của anh về việc thành lập của nhóm. Hiệp hội Thừa Sai Thánh Tâm Chúa Giêsu được thành lập với một cái sứ mệnh trở nên trái tim của Chúa ở trần gian này theo linh đạo và đặc sủng của hội dòng Thừa Sai Thánh Tâm. Còn về nguyên nhân thành lập Hiệp hội Thừa Sai Thánh Tâm Trẻ tại Việt Nam lại là sáng kiến của ấp Ba. Lúc đó Ngài là bề trên của cộng đoàn và cũng là cha giám đốc học viện. Vào ngày 29 tháng 10 năm 2009, Hiệp hội được chính thức thành lập với thánh lễ do cha Bob chủ sự tại nhà Bạch Văn Trân. 15 bạn trẻ tham dự và bao gồm cả hai bạn già là anh và cha Hoàng. Lúc đó được trao phó trách nhiệm đồng hành và hỗ trợ nhóm trong những ngày đầu tiên. Sau đó hai anh em rút về hậu phương làm cố vấn và trao toàn quyền cho nhóm điều hành của hiệp hội. Về mặt sinh hoạt thì nhóm sinh hoạt mỗi tháng một lần là một trong những điều thuận lợi nhất mà nhóm có được ngay từ đầu. Nhóm rất là may mắn được bề trên dùng bông côi cho sử dụng nhà trẻ Hoa Hồng nằm trên đường Bạch Văn Trân. Như các bạn cũng biết, nhóm cũng có kế hoạch đi dã ngoại và kết hợp với việc làm thiện nguyện, như là đi thăm các bệnh nhân ở trại phong, rồi viện dưỡng lão, rồi các trẻ mồ côi vân vân. Các trải nghiệm rất ý nghĩa này không những giúp các bạn gắn kết với nhau nhiều hơn mà còn giúp từng thành viên trưởng thành trong đời sống đức tin cũng như trong việc thi hành sứ vụ yêu thương của Chúa Giêsu. Trong tháng 10 này, chúng ta còn kỷ niệm lễ giỗ của cha Jules Valier. Ngài đã để lại cho giáo hội nói chung và cho hội dòng Thừa Sai Thánh Tâm nói riêng linh đạo trái tim, một linh đạo có sức mạnh chữa lành mọi căn bệnh của thời đại, có khả năng biến đổi tâm hồn và biến đổi thế giới. Anh tin rằng là mỗi bạn trong nhóm Hiệp hội Thừa Sai Thánh Tâm Trẻ đã từng có kinh nghiệm được tình yêu Chúa Giêsu chạm đến, chữa lành và biến đổi. Anh muốn các bạn ghi khắc trong tim của mình rằng chúng ta đang phát trên mình một sứ vụ cao cả mà Đấng sáng lập đã trao phó, đó là làm cho Thánh Tâm Chúa Giêsu được yêu mến khắp nơi. Nhân kỷ niệm 12 năm thành lập Hiệp hội Thừa Sai Thánh Tâm Trẻ, anh xin chúc mừng từng thành viên và cầu chúc cho ngọn lửa tình yêu của Thánh Tâm Chúa Giêsu mà chúng ta đã lãnh nhận luôn bừng cháy trong tim mỗi bạn. Xin cảm ơn và xin chào các bạn.
Anh chị em giáo dân trẻ Thừa Sai Thánh Tâm thân mến, trong dịp vui mừng kỷ niệm 12 năm thành lập, chúng ta có cơ hội nhìn lại hồng ân Thiên Chúa ban cho từng người anh chị em chúng ta. Quả vậy, có rất nhiều anh chị em đã từng sống và từng đồng hành cùng hiệp hội. Có người được vài bữa, có người vài tháng, hay có những người vài năm, và có những người đang tiếp tục đồng hành cùng với hiệp hội cho đến giai đoạn này. Nhưng một điều chắc chắn rằng tất cả đều cảm nghiệm được tình yêu của Thiên Chúa trong đời sống của mình. Đặc biệt trong bối cảnh năm nay, với bối cảnh đại dịch, từng người đã cảm nghiệm được Thiên Chúa hoạt động nơi chính bản thân hay gia đình của mình. Đúng như cha Chevalier đã nói, Thánh Tâm là phương dược chữa lành tất cả các căn bệnh của thời đại. Đại dịch Covid là dịp để cho mỗi người chúng ta sống tinh thần của con tim, khi biết quan tâm đến những người khác. Câu hỏi được đặt ra là làm sao chúng ta làm được trong bối cảnh ngày hôm nay như vậy được? Và chính cha Chevalier cũng trả lời cho chúng ta. Khi làm việc bác ái cho người nghèo không nhất thiết là phải giàu có. Chỉ cần chúng ta có một trái tim biết yêu thương, biết cảm thông và nhân hậu. Thiên Chúa tạo cho mỗi người một trái tim tốt lành, tử tế và nhạy cảm. Con tim nhân loại là những phương thức quyền năng nhất để thực thi bác ái, điều tốt. Cầu chúc cho anh chị em luôn bình an và trở thành những vị thừa sai đích thực cho tình yêu của Thiên Chúa trong bối cảnh ngày hôm nay.
Hi, xin chào tất cả các bạn trẻ trong Hiệp hội Thừa Sai Tinh Tâm. Chúc mừng 12 năm kỷ niệm thành lập nhóm nha. Mới đó 12 năm rồi đấy, nhanh nhỉ. Mình được biết đến nhóm vào năm 2011. Một bạn trẻ cũng lúc đó mời mình vào và mình tham gia. Thì điều mà ấn tượng nhất đối với mình lúc đó chính là sự trẻ trung và năng động của quý cha và quý thầy dòng Thừa Sai Tinh Tâm, cũng như là các bạn trẻ tuy ít thôi nhưng mà mình cũng cảm nhận được cái tinh thần gắn bó và thoải mái để chia sẻ. Rồi mình cũng được tham gia những hoạt động mà nhóm tổ chức như là đi phát quà cho người nghèo trong đêm Giáng sinh, rồi thăm viện dưỡng lão, đi thăm những người phong hủi, có những cái chuyến đi dã ngoại để lại cho mình rất là nhiều kỷ niệm. Và mình cảm nghiệm được là linh đạo con tim này nó phù hợp với mình, rồi không biết làm sao nữa, hoặc là bị dụ sao đó, cái mình đi tu dòng Thừa Sai Thánh Tâm luôn. Và bây giờ mình có cơ hội được quay lại đồng hành với nhóm trẻ. Đây là một vinh dự cho mình. Nhân dịp kỷ niệm 12 năm thành lập nhóm, xin chúc các bạn kính mốc được sự tươi trẻ nơi trái tim của Chúa Giêsu, luôn cảm nghiệm được tình yêu của Ngài dành cho mỗi người chúng ta, để từ đó chúng ta có thể mang tình yêu của Ngài đến với mọi người và mọi nơi. Xin chúc mừng!
Với hai tính từ, bạn sẽ miêu tả gì về nhóm Young Lay MSC?
Đó là nhóm thân thiện và nhiệt tình.
Đó là nhóm đáng yêu và thân thiện.
Đó là nhóm nhiệt tình, chân thành.
Young Lay là một nhóm vừa lầy, vừa gần, vừa xa.
Đó là nhóm lạc quan vui vẻ.
Là nhóm chân thành và yêu thương.
Đó là một nhóm rất năng động và gần gũi.
Đó là nhóm là thân thiện và hòa đồng.
Đây là nhóm rất vui vẻ và có tinh thần phụng sự.
Young Lay MSC tâm luôn tươi trẻ, tính siêu mát mẻ.
Đó là nhóm sống đồng và ngọt ngào.
Nhóm trẻ thân thiện và sáng tạo.
Nhóm trẻ nhiệt huyết và hài hước.
Nhóm trẻ vui vẻ và thân thiện.
Young Lay MSC hài hước và nhiệt tâm.
Đó là nhóm hạnh phúc, duyên dáng
và chân thành.
Nhóm trẻ năng động, sáng tạo.
Đó là một nhóm thân thiện và vui vẻ.
Nhóm trẻ dâng lên MSC yêu thương và chia sẻ.
Do lấy MSC là sự lan tỏa của kiến thức và yêu thương.
Do you know Young Lay Missionary also read hurt?
Thầy này.
What?
Thầy này.
Do you know Young Lay Missionary also read hurt? Funny. Welcome to
MSC.
Thưa hai đứa ơi,
Dạ.
hai đứa có biết nhóm trẻ Messi không?
Dạ có.
Nhóm trẻ Messi như thế nào?
Nhóm trẻ MSC luôn hăng say và nồng nhiệt.
Hello, các con có biết nhóm trẻ Messi không?
Dạ có.
Nhóm trẻ Messi như thế nào?
Nhóm trẻ MSC luôn hăng say và nồng nhiệt.
Yeah!
Oh, I love you enjoy it. Yeah, we love it too.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you very much. Very
Thank
moving.
you. Yeah. So in the spirituality of the heart, sympathy and love for the less fortunate are what we feel most cherished and desire. Therefore, in parallel with the group's monthly activities, we also carry out charity programs such as visiting orphanage or nursing homes, making donations, necessities, clothes, school supplies, and money to the facilities. These activities also usually takes place from 1 to 2 times a year. In the photos on the left, you are seeing the pictures of the program we made to donate to the people in Kontum, a difficult village in the mountainous area in Vietnam. And on this photo is the volunteer activities at the orphanage, Rose Shelter, and Tim Cook Shelter. Next. For the online aspect, we have the online prayer hours. Our group gather together to pray, listen to, and share God's words, and recite prayers. In particular, Young Lay also organize special prayer programs with teams on major seasons or events such as the 3 holy days, Taizé online, praying the rosary in a few days, Feast of Our Lady. We also have private prayer programs on the occasion of special events of group members, such as funeral, wedding, prayer for peace in private occasions or matters. All the activities are for purpose of enhancing the connection among members in the spirit of heart. Other thing we do online is the Young Lay YouTube channel. This is the official communication channel of Young Lay MSC Vietnam in parallel with the Facebook page. Here we will present activities that are for the larger community. We share knowledge, audiobooks, or where members express their voices through hymns, etc. Other things, we have the seminars, both online and offline. This is the regular activity of the group, held 2 to 3 times a month for the purposes of the place where members can share their thoughts, feelings, or difficulties that we are facing in life. Other is the place where members can share knowledge and skills related to society and spiritual life to help each other develop comprehensively in life. Particularly for the online seminar, we pay the most attention because we understand that this is the most optimal way for us to connect and develop all members of Young Lay, even from far or near. Aware of the development of society in Vietnam and recognizing the interest in the videos from members, the contents of the current online program are developed under 3 major themes, 3 major topics. One is love life, the 2 is choices in life, such as work, financial thinking, etc. And the last one is soft skills, such as teamwork, individual work, management skills. We usually do rotation. Every week, we will discuss a certain aspect in different topics to help members maintain interest and not get bored. Hosts of these sections are members of our group, so we take advantage of the fact that Young Lay members come from different backgrounds, or we will invite guest speakers from our social connections. Following what has been established, now Young Lay has implemented offline activities in a systematic way. Specifically, we discussed with the advice of the spiritual director to establish the theme for every year. And following that, we deploy specific plans for each program based on the annual theme. Our offline activities always include 3 main activities. As I mentioned above, in the past, we have mass, seminars, and activities, such as lunch together, cooking, play games, something like that. Currently, Young Lay MSC has a fixed location at the Sacred Heart Missionary Academy in Ho Chi Minh City. Yeah. Currently, it's actually currently it has been still under construction, but we still have place to gather. Before seminar activities, we also have the part to prepare food and cooking and having lunch together at the institute. Yeah. Celebration. So our group has always kept to close relationship with other lay associations of the Vietnamese missionaries of the Sacred Heart on major Catholic holidays to celebrate the founding of the order. We still regularly participate in the same programs, holding meetings, celebrating Mass, and eating and drinking together in a fraternal or family relationship. In the slide is the recent celebration of the Sacred Heart. We join other groups at the Institute. And this is the charity activities based on the annual theme of 2022. Young Lay focuses on charity programs related to orphans at the centers. Usually we will organize the program towards activities with children through games, singing karaoke, cooking for the children at the center, and helping to feed the children with disabilities. In the slide is the volunteer activity we did in July 2022 at Thiên Phước Shelter in Ho Chi Minh City, just last month. Oh, yeah, about last month. July, now September, 2 months ago. With a desire to increase the connection among members far and near, on August 26th and 27th, just recently, our group held an outing activity in Vũng Tàu, a coastal city about 100 kilometers from Ho Chi Minh City. The program had meaningful activities when there were picnic programs, activities at attractions, interspersed with quiet moments and short prayers. Thereby, each individual member of Young Lay MSC, when participating, can feel more closely about the spirituality of heart, loving, sharing, and caring. As shared by a member who participate in outing as follows: we may be geographically distant, may be difficult in life, not good in spirituality. Not good in spiritual life. But through this program, we know and understand we have friends who are always with us, listening and ready to share our joys and sorrows also. So again, film or movie. Actually, with all that Young Lay has developed and has now, you understand and feel it is the gift from the Sacred Heart of God given to us, the silent sacrifice from so many people, the wholehearted support from the congregation. Recognizing these things, we appreciate and look forward to sharing and developing that spirit with all of people who are and will participate in the future for the following reason. But before I present further, we would like to invite you to watch a short video clip about our outing in Vũng Tàu just last month. So it's a short one, so enjoy.
All I can see are blue skies and not a cloud inside. You are the brightest sun.
Rồi vậy nè. 1, 2, 3, yeah.
Giang Ly là một nhóm vừa lầy, vừa gần, vừa xa. Các bạn cẩn thận, vô đó có chuẩn bị đi mất xác đấy.
So recognizing these things, we appreciate and look forward to sharing and developing that spirit with all people who are and will participate in the future for the following reasons. First, help young lay members deepen the practice of our spirituality of the heart, helping helping them in daily life, because for us, the importance of the spiritual life in modern times and the role of our spirituality of the heart plays in our spiritual life. We need to learn how to dare to understand, dare to believe we are instruments of God, but in order to be useful tools, we need to learn how to improve and develop ourselves, both in our social lives and in our spiritual lives, through the way we care each other in Yanglei. As Father Jules Valier said, missionary laity will be the most vivid and realistic image to spread the love of the Sacred Heart to everyone in society. Second, we continue to develop the spirit life of current members. We celebrate, we will hold the charity activities, outing, continuation of online and offline topics. We continue to focus and develop the spiritual life for current members of the group through the advice of the spiritual director with the following activities. The periodic retreats. We will often we will often have retreats during Lent or times when our group will prepare to make a commitment to spirituality of new members, as well as renew the promise to the old member in the future. Sorry, I just unfocused. The next thing is charity and outing. Two activities we always try to maintain in 1 year. We will organize a combination of these two programs together. We recognize that along with online and offline activities, this is the time to gather young lay members near and far, thereby strengthening the connection in spirituality of the heart. Last thing, continuation of online and offline topics. We continue to recognize the contributions and suggestions of members about similar programs. In the future, we plan to organize more specialized knowledge sections such as English communication, small business management, childcare, or makeup, etc. Just like around the world, young people in Vietnam now spend a lot of time on social networks. We see this in an opportunity to help us connect and introduce young lay to many new friends in Vietnam and also Vietnamese people in other countries. We also determine the contents that will be public on the platforms, such as articles, videos about the spirituality of the heart in particular, the activities of a young lay. Currently, the number of the new young lay members is not much, but in the near future, we believe with this approach, it will go further. We aim to expand the scope of activities of Young Lay so that we can reach many young Vietnamese people in other parts of the country and the world via YouTube channel, TikTok platform, Facebook, short online courses with Zoom or Google Meet platforms. Our focusing contents are audiobooks, spirituality, praying ideas, skills, life skill. Yeah. Ending, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, in the situation that the world and Vietnam have many changes in terms of life, society, and even spirituality. We understand that our things are really small, but not because of that we will give up in the face of difficulties. But we believe that when we act for our loving God, the Sacred Heart of God accompanies us in everything. This my presentation ends here. Hopefully through that it can help you understand more about our Young Lay group and in the love and grace of the Sacred Heart. May He bless us all. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Celine.
Thank you.
It was wonderful.
It's quite long. Sorry for it's so long.
Thank you very much. We will take a 10-minute break for things to do like coffee or stretch. And then we come back in 10 minutes time. We can come back at 3:20. Is it correct? Is it 3 o'clock? 2:20.
3:25.
Yeah, 3:25. We come back
10 minutes.
I mean 2:25, right?
Oh, yeah, 10 minutes.
Sorry. Vietnam.
You're 1 year,
Vietnam, yeah.
1 hour.
Okay, yeah. Mine it's 12:25 midnight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Father.
3:25.
See you then.
Okay,
See you in 10 minutes.
Father Ben.
Yes.
Another
Ready?
Father Ben.
Chưa có tắt.
Okay, 10 minutes.
Tôi tưởng là ok.
Không đây là giờ tắt rồi.
Very good. Welcome back. It's a very touching, thank you very much for a very moving, realistic presentation of the impact of the spirituality of the heart in the public square, in the marketplace, among the lay people, especially the young. I'm sure we have a lot of questions. My suggestion is we will entertain the questions after the presentation of Lila, so that it will be a kind of a panel. The two of you will be the panel of discussants to our questions after your presentation.
Okay,
so, okay, take it away, Lila.
I'm supposed to share screen, di ba?
Đó thì đó ở bên mấy kia là có trường luôn.
Không thì biết
Thì đó
tôi làm hôm nay là có tham gia.
Thì đó tôi mới nói là cũng nhiều cái. Thì cứ bắt đầu đi đúng không?
Không, ý là
Share. Where are you now? Can't find you.
Go to the bottom or go to the top and find the green arrow.
share screen. I'm supposed to, how come I cannot see my PowerPoint?
Did you open it?
Yeah, it's open.
Yeah, it's just there.
Share screen. Wait a minute, please. I'm not so techy.
It's okay.
This is a photo. This is it's a pity if I cannot show some of my photos here. Maybe I will close some of them. Wait a minute.
Take your time.
My PowerPoint is already open, Father.
It should appear in the screen. Otherwise, I will do the PowerPoint, the
Yeah,
yeah.
is that okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
Would you like to try it again if you can do it?
Wait a minute, one more time.
Yep.
So I think I got it.
Good. I think so.
Have to close the other windows.
Yes, close the windows.
Yeah, can you see now?
Yes, and then you enlarge it by clicking the screen below the screen. Yes, that one. Very good.
That one?
Terrific. Yes.
Yeah.
Now you
Okay,
can
so we ended with Celine. Okay, the conversations will be later. So that's me. And this is one of my photos giving formation. So good afternoon again. And I'm glad we had a break first. So today, September 8th, the Blessed Mother's birthday, and it's truly a festival of the Sacred Heart. Yeah. And thank you, Father, for accompanying us this afternoon. I was expecting Sister Kathy, that's why I took. And also thank you for my sister Celine. She's now my sister, Celine from Vietnam. May I know the name of your partner? I think he's also executive board of Young Lay MSC, yes? Hello?
You, yes.
How
Thank
do we
you.
call you?
Yeah, he's before me.
Yeah, what's his name?
His name?
My name Vin.
Vin?
Yeah, Vin. V-I-N-H.
Wow, Vin Diesel. You also like Vin. You also look like Vin Diesel. You know, the
Thank you
actor.
very much.
Okay, so we have I have two new friends from Vietnam. I think you are my first two friends from Vietnam, Celine and Vin. Okay, thank you for your, I can really sense the joy there, of your presentation. And before we presented this for this afternoon, Celine and I were, chatting how to go about this. We practiced the other day how to do this, and then from her presentation, I got some points. So I made some changes in my presentation because I got some points from Celine. So thank you, Celine. I hope it's okay with you. Okay. My name is Lila Roa. I'm a Filipina. I am 63 years old, single but satisfied. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I'm single and satisfied. It really feels amazing also to be here with you this afternoon. Thank you, Corvite, for allowing Celine and I to share. We really received so many graces, and we are so grateful about this. That's why we are happy to share what we have. Yeah, about our experiences. Because as lay people, we also received the three upon baptism. Upon baptism, we also received the threefold functions of Jesus. As priests, we are priests, we are prophets, and we are also kings. Yeah. In the introduction of the topic of APA, there is a question: have I introduced the spirituality of the heart so as to liberate the minds and cultures of the people for a greater awareness of God's kingdom of love? God's kingdom of love. I think Pope Francis has repeated this, that in Evangelii Gaudium, the joy of the gospel. And that's why I'm happy really with the presentation of Vietnam, because you can sense there the joy. At 63, I believe I am introducing the spirituality of the heart here in Mindoro. I'm now in Mindoro. It's an island here in the Philippines. I am currently the co-founder and head servant. We call the leader as head servant of a new community called LIDM, or Laity of the Incarnate Divine Mercy, which was started on December 25 last year only. So we're just 7 months. Our group is just 7 months. This was 2 weeks after I renewed my commitment as a member of the Chevalier Family Lay Associates under the guidance of the Daughters of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. That was December 8 last year. That's why I have here a picture. This was our photo. I think there were only 10 of us who made our commitment, but this is connected with what I'm doing now here in Mindoro, because from that, I will tell you later. So what is this LIDM? So what is this here? 8 minutes, I think. Okay. This is the LIDM logo. We just made this logo. L, so the letter is here, LIDM. The letters are formed to resemble a heart. Jesus' Sacred Heart. Jesus' Divine Mercy. At the center, if you can see this like letter E, actually it's a cross. That is the Mangyan emblem. Mangyans are the indigenous peoples of this island, Mindoro. And this emblem is called Pakudus or Pakudus. Pakudus means cross, to do the sign of the cross. So the logo is here at the center, because that is our ministry is helping uplift the lives of the Mangyans or the indigenous peoples. So this is the symbol of that sector, the indigenous peoples, and they are in the western part of, sorry, I cannot find the, where is now, I cannot find the map anyway. Mindoro is an island near on the western part of Luzon. Luzon is the biggest island of the Philippines. So because there are 3 parts, of the Philippines, the northern part is Luzon. Mindoro is somewhere towards the west. The Mangyans, the indigenous peoples of Mindoro, they have 8 tribes. Anyway, cannot show the map. Organizing LIDM, or the Laity of the Incarnate Divine Mercy, is for me an offshoot. This is an offshoot of my being a Chevalier Family Lay Associate, because it was during the talk of Sister Merly Salazar, FD, NSC, in last year's online formation, The Spirituality of the Heart and the Human Heart of the 21st Century, that I felt the invitation and the urge to go back to the missions. For some years after retiring in 2019, And during the pandemic, I just stayed at home. So when I was asked to conduct an Advent recollection in December 2021, last year, to new congregations, these are two new congregations here in Mindoro, brothers and sisters, whose spirituality is the divine mercy and ministry is to uplift the lives of the Mangyans. I was ready to say yes. In fact, I was really rearing to go because I was looking, how can I put this into practice, what Sister Merly was talking about? I was looking for a way to put into action the challenge of Sister Merle's talk. Her talk was entitled, Mary, Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. This is a photo of the two communities, religious brothers and sisters, who invited me for their formation. So I would give them Enneagram, I would give them effective communication, because their founder and their moderator is my friend. And I think the moderator trusts me, so he always invites me. In her talk, Sister Merle cited the Gospel of John on the wedding at Cana. My personal reflection centered on the sensitivity of the Blessed Mother for those around her. Mary sensed that anxiety of the hosts of the wedding because they had no more wine. She identified who were in most need at the time, and she helped them. As Sister Merle's talk was about to end, I asked myself, if I go back to the mission front, whom should I help? Who are in most need in my circle of influence? There were actually two options which I considered: the Filipino migrants in Taiwan, because I had friends there, and the Mangyans of Mindoro. But when the invitation to give the Advent recollection came, the answer was so clear to me. To the Mangyans I will go because some of them are still disadvantaged. So this is one of the, this is one tribe, this is the Buhid tribe. And you know, the island of Mindoro, at the center are the mountains. You know, it's really a mountain range. So the whole island is, at the center is the mountain range. And many of the Mangyans have been driven to the mountains. So in that sense, that's one of their being, one of the reasons why we feel that they are also disadvantaged. The Catholic Church has been here since the 1950s. And through the Mangyan mission, there is a special department here, Mangyan Mission. They have been helping in their education for more than 30 years. Yet there is still so much to do. Their main issue is maintaining their ancestral domain and to stop the encroachment into it by the Tagalogs. You know, the Tagalogs meaning, sometimes they call the Christians, those who are not Mangyans. They say the Damuong. So many of the Tagalogs have taken some of their lands. They have been pushed to the periphery. That's why I had this picture of the mountains. So LIDM, as a lay group, together with the other two new communities, call ourselves as missionaries of Mercy Family. We would like to help in the Christian formation of the Mangyans, because Father Ross, our moderator, have been, discussing that for our three communities, we would like to avoid the dole out kind of help, the giving of food, sometimes giving of sleepers, because we are only developing a mendicant, attitude among the indigenous people. They can asking. I think the education is a better part of approach, because it, we remember that saying that teach them how to, do not give them fish, but teach them how to face. So we would like to avoid that kind of help, doling out, etc. So at the moment, what we feel is the call for us is to do Christian formation. For LIDM, we have also chosen the youth. It is our focus, the youth. LIDM is currently a private association, but is being prepared to become a secular institute. It is under the guidance of an SVD priest, Father Ross P. Erwela, SVD. After 7 months as a new community, LIDM has now 6 members and 2 more are joining on October 7, next month, on the Feast of the Holy Rosary, because we usually have the beginning of the membership is to be consecrated to the Divine Mercy. So the first consecration, this one, that's me with the orange circle. That's Lila and Lynn. This was last April 24 during the Feast of the Divine Mercy Sunday. And then we have another 2. This is the lady here, Iyam, and then the guy, RV. This was last June 24 during the Feast of the Sacred Heart. And the last one, the last 2 members are Edna and Shai, last August 15 on the Feast of the Assumption. Before we do the consecration, we read a book called The 33 Days to Merciful Love. So that we can have an idea about the divine mercy. Because some of that this is something new to me, that many of us are churchgoers, but we really do not know even catechism. We have 2 members here that when you mention about Genesis, about the Bible, they are just like, it's strange to them, How come? So there's even among Catholics, there is so much to do with regards to spirituality, because we are just churchgoer, but we do not really have an intimate relationship with Jesus. So our vision is missionary disciples of the Divine Mercy, journeying with the Katutubo. Katutubo is the term for indigenous peoples of Mindoro. And our mission statement, we are consecrated persons from different cultures, striving to become disciples of the Divine Mercy by serving the Katutubo, indigenous peoples, youth, leaders, and communities of Mindoro. Our goals are self-care, witnessing a balanced lifestyle, personal sanctification, intensifying our prayer life, witnessing the way we live, living out the Divine Mercy spirituality, formation, undergoing continuous formation. As I said, even among our members, they still do not know many things about the Catholic religion. Ministry, committing authentic service to the Mangyans, and administration and finance to strengthen LIDM organization, since we are just 7 months old. So this is the book that we read, 33 Days to Merciful Love. This just, the writing is so simple, so it's not so difficult to understand. And especially for those who are not well versed yet with the many things about our religion, this is easy for them to read. So after this, we have the consecration to the Divine Mercy. So this is the consecration to the Divine Mercy. This is Lynn. There were just a few of us that time. And then we also have weekly Bible sharing online. And lately we had also F2F, face-to-face. I think this is what Celine means by, Celine the term for Celine is offline, and offline. Here in the Philippines, we say F2F, meaning face-to-face. So lately, we already had some face-to-face Bible sharing and Bible study. So these are photos of the online Friday. We always have the gathering every Friday. And then we have the Bible study. For the Bible study, because Mindoro is the mission assignment for many SBDs. So there are many SBD approaches to Bible study. The one that we're using is called the LBS, or liturgical Bible studies. It's quite interesting because it's easy and you really get into the meaning of the 3 readings for Sundays. We usually choose Sunday. And then we also had the Bible Camp 2022. This is training for Bible Camp facilitators because since the youth is our focus for LIDM, so we like to start with the Word of God, to plant the seed of the Word of God among the youth. So we need to have facilitators. So we had a Bible camp in June, last week of June, just this year. So these are some pictures of that Bible camp. Actually, I was not there because I had COVID. I got COVID, but they just sent me pictures. I think this has something to do with the baptism. And then we also have monthly mass and fellowship. This is Father Ross in the middle. And in this monthly mass, we also have our sponsors, the one who are giving us donations. We include them in this monthly mass. And then after that, we have breakfast because we usually have that in the morning. Every second Saturday, 6:30, we start with the rosary, then we have the mass, then we have the fellowship. We just bring food. Each one can bring anything that they like to do. And then we also have a radio program. This is new, Oras ng IC. So I am the host for this program. I'm happy that the owner of a radio station here called DWOM FM is my friend, and she allowed me to have 1 hour. Actually, it was Father Ross, our moderator, who requested, and it was granted. So we now have a weekly radio program, Oras ng Awa, because there is a phenomenon here that is also new to me. There is a rising incidence of suicide among teenagers here in Mindoro. I could not believe it because I worked here for 10 years before. I never heard of it. But recently, one of the young teachers that I met told me that in her school, 3 had suicide, college students in his, I'm sorry, he's a guy, his school, 3. So I said, maybe through this radio program, because we stories of how we experience God's mercy in this radio program, so that they can identify, so that they have someone to cling to, the divine mercy, Jesus, the divine mercy. We are hoping to reach out to the young ones because of this very disheartening, young ones. I do not know if this is still part of the pandemic, this suicide thing. They said because so many got depressed during the pandemic. So among the youth, we also have, I thought only the adults, but I cannot believe this. So this was our first broadcast, the second broadcast. And in this second broadcast, this guy in blue, he is a katutubo. He's already a tribe of the Mangyan. He's Hanunuo. He's undergoing training to become a brother. He's Rene Maligaw. So I'm happy that he accepted. So that, because the indigenous peoples are so shy, and that's why I'm happy that they are able to come out of their shells. Of course, they are already educated ones, but the young ones, we are trying to give them chances, to express themselves. So here he is with me. Mangyan Hanunuo. He's one of the Hanunuo tribe is considered the superlative tribe because many of them are already educated. And then we also have a newsletter. We call this LIDM ngayon. This we are telling our donors and our benefactors what we're doing through this newsletter, so we can sustain them to continue with helping us through their financial help. And then we also had an LIDM planning. There are just 5 of us here because one is absent. There are 6 of us, so one was absent. If you can see, this is a mixture of old and young. These 2 are the ones who are, I'm hoping, will help us with technology, because these are already me. This is me. We are already retired, but these 2 ones are still young, and we are hoping to attract more. The two new members, the 2 incoming members are also very young, hopefully there. And this is one of the photos why I'm facilitating, because I took a course in pastoral management, so I applied strategic planning for our LIDM planning. Here we have the SWOT analysis. So if you're familiar with strategic planning, we have strengths, opportunities. So I tried to, this is a workshop, so I'm telling them that you copy what I'm doing if you have other organizations. So during mealtime, we are also attempting to help Mangyan livelihood with their products because they have handicrafts. That's why I tried to put that in my Facebook account. Yaman ng Mangyan, meaning treasures of the Mangyan products. So they have clothing, they have weaves, they have so many things, other items. But some of the not all items are here. I just showed some, hoping to trigger, because Christmas is coming, so they might like to buy some Christmas gifts, so they can buy Mangyan products, because we are helping also the livelihood of the Mangyans. And this is for the CFLA, or Chevalier Family Lay Associates. I am under the Daughters of the Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. I was really very happy with this, because before December 8, I joined their online novena. Since there was pandemic, so we always had online weekly. We really did not stop. That's why even if we didn't see each other yet, we were already so close. So this is some of the photos of our online novena. Here we also pray for each other, because we also have a group chat. So I need prayer like this. So it's very active. So we deepen our relationship in this online meetings. So I'm happy with that. That's why when I had the commitment, what they call this, it was like we were already familiar with each other, because we have been meeting through online novena. Oh, this is now. So how did it all start? Why I'm at 63? I'm supposed to be retired. Why am I still very active? I think there were 3 things that happened to me. So this is my vocation story. These are the factors I think that helped me, what they call this, sustain my vocation and sustain my mission work even at retirement. I come from a nurturing family. I had a dynamic parish when I was young. And also I belong to the Diocese of Tagum, which is a missionary diocese. So these 3 things, the family, the parish, and my diocese, they all helped me to become who I am right now. And some more personalities. Okay, what happened here? So my story, my vocation story, I'm thankful for this opportunity, because I had the chance to go back to where all this started. While on a retreat in 2019, a year after my mother died, I attended I took a retreat, and the title of the retreat was Braving Life's Transitions. So there was a talk on Erik Erikson, psychosocial development of the human person. That year I turned 60, so it was kind of shaky for me because my mother died and I was still they were telling me it was PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, because I was 8 months just lying down in my bed, doing nothing at all. And then in this retreat, we were asked to draw something after a reflection. And this is what I made, what I painted or drew. In the vision, I saw myself as a baby swaddled in infant clothing, gently nestled and secure in the middle of two open palms. In the vision, it was not clear to me whose hands were these. I gave it the title, Beloved Daughter. Deep inside me, though, I sensed that these palms were my father's hands, which turned into God's palms as I continued to reflect on the vision. In many ways, I am my father's daughter. The model of the hands in the drawing are mine, and it looks strong, just like my father's. My father, a self-made man, was often stern, but I felt very much trusted, respected, and loved by him. He made it easy for me to believe that God trusts, respects, and loves me too. Indeed, nurturing families, albeit not perfect, are seed beds of vocation. So I was able to go back to this event as I was writing my piece for this afternoon session. I also enjoyed a lot and love being a part of a dynamic parish, the St. Jude Thaddeus Parish in Tacloban City, which is the capital of the island of Leyte. The Philippines is divided. Wait a minute, look at this. This is I have a map here. The Philippines is somewhere here. This is Russia, this is Australia. So the Philippines is somewhere here. This yellow group of islands. And it's divided into three parts. The northern part is Luzon. The central part is called the Visayas. It's a group of islands. And the southern part is Mindanao. In the central part, there is an island called Leyte. That's where I come from. So if this is Leyte, the one in red, this is the bigger picture. I grew up here in Tacloban City until I was 11 years old. And I was a very happy child because of my parish, which had so many activities for kids. This is me when I was 11 years old. So I was in Leyte until 11 years old. Then we migrated to the south, to Mindanao, to find greener pastures. Our family was growing. I am the eldest of 8 children. It was in Mindanao that I grew into adolescence and where I was formed to become a missionary. I cropped this photo from a class picture. I was a batang simbahan. Batang simbahan. Bata means child, simbahan church. So meaning I was a child who grew up in and around our parish church. We lived just 5 houses away from the church. The parish church was our playground. I was a member of the Legion of Mary, a member of the youth choir. Growing up meant enjoying the yearly Flores de Mayo, a month-long activity for kids in the month of May, where we prayed the rosary, offered flowers to the Blessed Mother, attended catechism classes, and of course, our favorite, the snacks prepared by our parents. When I recall now, the only thing I remembered in our catechism class was the song Salve Regina. But the version went like this. Salve Regina, Mater Misericordiae. But I also know the other one. Salve Regina, Mater Misericordiae. That was the only thing I remembered in my childhood during the catechism classes in our parish. At this stage in my missionary journey, I started to learn the language of the church in English. English is the second language in the Philippines. I feel it is important in my formation to be familiar with the church language. I felt comfortable being in the church. The language was not strange to me. I just realized I was beginning a relationship. I was getting to know God with these words. I mentioned this because, as I said, from among the members of my present community who are churchgoers, sometimes when it's like Genesis, they have no idea what it is. So we have to explain. So it's not enough, to be a churchgoer. We really need to have formation. That's why I kind of mentioned this specially, that it is important to know the church language. So words like rosary, genuflect, blessed sacrament, tabernacle, mass, confession, first communion, confirmation, the blue sass as a Legion of Mary. There was the Nicene Creed, which I read aloud because at grade 5 I already started to read in English. I would do it with my schoolmates when we attended Sunday masses. We used to have prayer books as mass guides so we can participate in the masses. Nowadays in the Philippines, there is of course there are already screens where what the priest will say and what the people will answer are already projected on screens. But before we just have prayer books. My childhood was a joyful one because of the parish activities. We were fortunate to have dynamic priests. The one assigned to St. Jude Thaddeus before our family moved to Mindanao is now the Bishop Emeritus of the Diocese of Tagbilaran, Bishop Leonardo Y. Medroso. Where is he? Yeah, he was our parish he was our parish priest when I was a child in Tacloban City, and my parents called him Father Baby. That was his short name or nickname, Father Baby. My parents used to spend hours in the evenings in his parish convent discussing about church things. I didn't know it then, but they were talking about the many changes introduced by Vatican II. I sense it was something important though, because my parents would continue to talk about it when they returned home. I remember them saying, for example, that it is the sin of parents if after birth, the child is not baptized within 1 month. So they were telling, my parents would, I heard them saying that it was the parents' sin. So I do not know. Maybe those were the things that they discussed in the parish convent with Bishop Medroso, who was Father Baby to us that time. Okay, time check. It's 4:05. We're supposed to end at 4. Should I go? Okay, wait a minute. So this was my childhood. Then when we moved to, I mentioned this. Yeah, as I said, the experience of joy in the parish when I was a child is the underlying reason why I still continue to serve the church. It's like, come, join our church activities. It's so fun. It's of course there are some lull moments, but generally I think the Catholic. I really like being a Catholic. That's why I want to share this with others. And I was affirmed when in the Evangelii Gaudium, Pope Francis begins by saying, "The joy of the gospel fills the hearts and lives of all who encounter Jesus." In this exhortation, I wish to encourage the Christian faithful to embark upon a new chapter of evangelization marked by this joy. That's why Young Lay MSc in Vietnam for me is on the right track because of this. And then, so I had a dynamic parish. I belong to a dynamic parish. I also happened to be in the Diocese of Tagum, which became a missionary church. There I started, I got employed after after college, I got employed in a banana plantation, and then I was recruited to become a Philippine Catholic lay missionary, which I served for 25 years. And as the Philippine Catholic lay mission was started by the Maryknoll missionaries. But while I was in the Diocese of Tagum, Father George at that time was my mentor in BEC organizing, Basic Ecclesial Community Organizing, because the BECs is accepted now as something that started in my diocese, the Diocese of Tagum. And the priest there, Father George Rimando, now the auxiliary bishop of the Archdiocese of Davao, was my mentor in BEC organizing, because our parish, chaplaincy at the time, our parish became part of his thesis in PsyD. So he worked with us, so I got to know what he was doing. He would he got his data from our parish, and I helped him got all those data. That's why I had an idea what it was. And then I had no idea of the Missionaries of the Sacred until I had a chance to be the classmate. I would say it was a privilege to be the classmate of Archbishop Nicolaus Adi Saputra, Archbishop of Merauke, Indonesia. He was my classmate in 1999 in the East Asian Pastoral Institute. I didn't know, he was the one who told me the founder is Jules Chevalier. Oh, really? Oh, Jules Chevalier. And he introduced me to the other two congregations. That's why I'm at home going to Indonesia, because I have gone to Indonesia many times. I lived with the sisters, with the PBHK. The Doge in Indonesia is called PBHK. And then, what is my story about this? Where did I mention this? So that's how I got to know the Missionaries of the Sacred Heart. And then somebody told me from Philippine Catholic Lay Mission, my group, that the MSCs were co-founders of our Philippine Catholic Lay Mission. PCLM is supposed to have been founded by the Maryknoll missionaries, but an old lay missionary told me, but the MSCs are co-founders of PCLM because the experimental team for community organizing was done in Agusan in San Francisco. And I think it was I'm sure it was an MSC parish. He would mention Dutch names like Ben Bernie, something like that. I think yeah, those were the priests who were there. I'm not familiar because they were the older batches. And so my relationship with the lay missionaries got to grow because of the first time I heard about it through Archbishop Nico Adi. So to end my sharing, one of the Vatican II documents called Apostolicam Actuositatem, paragraph 3 mentions the unmistakable work being done today by the Holy Spirit in making the laity ever more conscious of their own responsibility and encouraging them to serve Christ and the Church in all circumstances. So of course, it's something great that the MACs have recognized this long ago also the role of the lay people. That's why we have the SIFLA, and you know, in our conversations in the Daughters of Our Lady's online conversation with my co-Dulcia lay associates, we would always mention Alison Mackenzie, because she would send us monthly some prayers and for reflection, especially for care for the environment. So I'm happy that the Missionaries of the Sacred Heart have a very strong organization, the Chevalier Family Lay Associates, and I'm honored to be part of that. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you very much. We have very rich sharing from our lay friends, lay associates, and the impact of the spirituality of the heart in their lives, as well as in the lives of the people with whom they work. Now, it is time for, can you stop sharing? And it's time for the panel, Lila and Celine. You'll be ready to respond to comments, questions, and reflections. Okay. Excuse me.
Excuse me, Father.
Yes.
Before we have the questions from you, may we have your feedback about our presentation? Some of your feedback.
Yes,
because it's really it's really good for us to listen from others.
Yes,
especially you.
I will give my feedback as a closing remark. First, we will listen to the others, the questions and reflections, and then I will give my feedback as a closing remark. Will that be okay? Celine? Where is she?
Yeah. Yes,
okay.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. So we will do that. Thank you very much. I will probably continue now. Good. Okay. Anybody? Yes.
I would just like to affirm the young lay MSC of Vietnam. That you're really doing great, yeah, because we really have to multiply ourselves. So especially with your technology, with using TikTok and Facebook to invite more young and vibrant youth to join in our ministries. So I'm really happy. I'm proud to be part of you. Vin,
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Can we have now the questions, the comments, or reflections?
I would like also to affirm Vietnam for the very good sharing, knowing that they have the the lay associates there, they call it, no? It's still very young. At least they have done a lot, no? And knowing Vietnam, the difficulties there and the struggles, unlike in the Philippines that majority are Catholics, Vietnam I don't think, no? And still they were able to do that. So a big congratulations. And also I would like to appreciate also Lila for her very, very personal and yet very touching, vocation at all, for the vocation, qualification, that kind of that how do you call that one? New groups, or no, the
LIDM.
Oh yeah. And I'm so happy that part of the inspiration came from the Celine family associates. I remember that when we started, she was in our group. No? And,
when I was in CFA, Father.
Yeah, CFA, and that was the time that we started that one, and being new, and we have done a lot of struggle, but this was really very, very, we enjoyed a lot, especially during our first
first Chevalier family annual
in my parish in Cebu, that was the first time. 1990, I do not know, I forgot. Oh, 2000.
2004?
No. 2001, because 2004 here in Angeles.
2000.
And then the Maricondon, something like that. No? Then we culminated in 2008, the 100 years of the founding of the MSC here in the Philippines. Huh? So that is also anyway. This is a unique way because I appreciated you, all in your presentation, because we cannot do anything personally as a everything will be part that I'm expert on. For example, giving sacraments, because that's the way that's our responsibility. We are ordained for that. But speaking of the language of these people, the people, you can do much. And you are really partners in our, forming the Sacred Heart of Jesus, and to be the heart of God, among these people, especially the most needy ones. So congratulations to both Vietnam and reporters and Lila. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Ben. Any other?
Just a short comment. I'm full of joy today. Today has been a learning time for me, but especially a time of great gratitude. And I'm thinking the name for all of this one is the festival. And today seems to sum that up. It's a joyful expression of the spirituality of the heart in our world today, with the young people in Vietnam, with the indigenous people. So I'm feeling full of joy and gratitude, and I thank Celine and Lila very much. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin. Now, can the moderator ask questions before I make my comments as a closing?
Sure.
Yeah, Celine, thank you for your presentation. It was very moving.
Thank you, Father.
Especially the context, your context, your personal and social context. But what was at the back of my mind when I was watching you and your activities, I was asking myself, really, you can do that in Vietnam?
Yeah.
The communist government would allow you to do that? Yes, comment on that. Can you comment on that? The question, yeah.
Yeah. So actually, in Ho Chi Minh City, I mean the city where I was born and enrolled, the government strategy is a bit different from the north, from the south of Vietnam, and the northern areas. They treat the people, especially in religion aspect, more strictly than from the south. Is much better, and we have more freedom, especially if we can use English, if we can use if we have more skills in on internet or other language, we can do something else better than if just only in the small skills. Just I don't know how to say, but if we can not show them, but we can present as a better. I am thinking about the word of higher level.
Yeah, higher level.
But I just afraid it's bossy or something. But yeah, if we can have better level like that, So other people, as even with the government officers, they have to, I don't know how to say, but because actually I used to work for the government in a research center for the children with disability in education. And I know some different kinds, they will treat different people with different background. But I'm not sure in my experience, even they know I used to be studied to be a nun, and it means I have quite deep religious life. They really respect that thing of myself, of mine, and yeah, and it touched me, and it's also give me the experience of the idea of the truth is the truth. Even they say they have no religion, but they have some belief about God.
Yeah.
Maybe some kind of God they think about, but they know there's some higher higher things above, not just human being. Yeah.
Supernatural.
Yeah. So yeah.
The sacred. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that the way. Yeah. And you know, Ho Chi Minh City is its former name is Saigon.
Yes.
Used to be like quite a developed city of the Asia in the past. And that time the French and American colonized Vietnam.
Yeah.
And also they brought the culture, the modern life to Ho Chi Minh City, to Saigon. And Saigon people kind of, they have, I don't know how to say, maybe more open mind. And the government, when they work with the southern people, they have a different way to treat people.
Very good.
Yeah, because when I studied abroad, and I met some friends from the north of Vietnam, even they Vietnamese, they also wonder why I can show my own religion quite freely. Like I sign the cross when I have lunch with them in front of them, and they just wonder what are you doing? Yeah, and yeah, thank you for your question. Yeah, it just make me have more reflection about the thing God do for us in general. So we can do that much of the activity of our group.
Very good. Thank you. Part of the reason why, one of the reasons why I asked that is because I have been very interested with Vietnam ever since I was in college when we protested against the Vietnam War. And then my companion here in the parish is a Vietnamese priest who came here as from one of the boat people.
Oh, okay.
And he became a priest. He is with me. And when I talk to him, he says many things that he has many criticisms against Vietnam and the communist way of. But now, looking at the pictures and listening to you, I might be able to talk to him about it too, because really, the fundamental question for me while you are there is, what is the role of the spirituality of the heart in a communist world?
Wow.
That's very fundamental for me.
It's good to write about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I wish that could be developed, and your group can develop that.
Yeah.
Because we had been thinking of going to China, we have been going to Russia, but now we are in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a different kind of communism. Not all countries have the same system, even though it's communism is not monolithic. But I mean, it's very important that the Chevalier family can talk, can articulate, can live the spirituality of the heart in the context of a communist society. So-called.
Yeah. Thank you, Father. Yeah. It's really like, trust myself very much, because actually I think my father is a communist. Yeah, and when he married my mother, he like at the beginning he haven't become a Catholic yet, and after a year, he was willing to study catechism and become a Catholic. But like along of his life, and when I was born and grow up, there are many arguments in my family relate to the different thoughts about religions and culture, practice in religion, but until now, my father even remind me every Sunday to go to church.
Very good. The former Archbishop of Saigon, Bishop Tom Dooley, Irish. He was a friend of mine. He was in prison for maybe 20 some years with the communist, and then we were together for 4 years in Rome. And she suffered a lot. But anyway, thank you very much. And also with Lila, I would like to affirm what you said. The missionaries of the Sacred Heart were very much involved in the foundation of the lay missionaries, which the Mariner Fathers initiated.
Thank you for that, Father.
Yeah, and the names of Father Van Berberny.
Yeah, that comes up, Father.
And Fons Myers. Fons Myers.
Yeah.
These were the two MECs, Dutch MECs, who pioneered inviting and training and inviting lay missionaries in Agusan, in San Luis and Talocogon. Agusan.
San Luis, not San Francisco. San Luis.
Well, San Francisco was at the time no more, because San Francisco belonged to the Carmelites. But they were really the mission really was in San Luis, Talocogon.
San Luis, Father.
Yes, San Luis, Talocogon. And that's the place which Father Ben Roquero likes very much. Yeah.
Really?
And it's really very good if we can, if your ideas that you presented here, reflections on the spirituality of the heart among the indigenous people in a communist society, could be really shared. And because we have, like, I think Robin was involved with you were involved, Robin, in the in Darwin, right?
No, not in the city of Darwin, out in the bush.
In the bush,
Aborigines.
in the bush with the Aborigines. Yes, and with Papua New Guinea. All these are the things. These are the things that we need to surface, because these are the exciting things about doing theology. These are the exciting things about the new way of living the faith with the indigenous people, a new way of articulating and living our spirituality, which are exciting and groundbreaking and not exhausted, not exhausted.
Yeah, not yet.
Because at the moment, much of the theology produced by those who are not involved in the new life are, kind of stale theology and exhausted spirituality. But that's very good that you have that. So I would like to suggest that you develop that, because you're already in touch with one another. We can develop that too. And finally, so thank you very much for this wonderful sharing. It's a groundbreaking and very much building the future today, especially in the societies where we are as children of members of Chevalier family inspired by our spirituality of the heart. I would just like to just a little bit more before we close with the prayer. There is a certain direction that I saw in your sharing. You started with Celine, who was in the convent, then she went out. Now she's a lay person. And we have Lila, who started as a lay person, now going into
consecrated life. Yeah,
consecrated life. Yeah. And both inspired by the spirituality of the heart. You know, the devotion to the divine mercy is actually, if you look at the theology of divine mercy, it's an option of the spirituality of the heart. I have a paper on that. So, yeah, I have a PowerPoint on that: the divine mercy and the devotion to the Sacred Heart. But you see those movements. So that really means that you are doing what our spirituality says, a mission shared. From the spirituality of the heart learned, you go out and share it either in the congregations or among indigenous people in communist countries and in capitalist countries and in all countries. The heart of Jesus lives. The love of God is present.
Yes, amen.
Thank you. Now we go to the final prayer. Lila?
It's a song.
Yes.
Companions on the journey.
Yes, you can do that now.
Wait a minute.
Sharing. You're sharing.
Companions on the journey. Carrie Landry.
Are you able to share it?
Wait a minute. Can you see? Can you hear?
Yes, yes.
Okay. For our closing song, prayer. We are companions on the journey, breaking bread and sharing life. And in the love we bear is the hope we share. We believe in the love of our God. We believe in the love of our God. No longer strangers to each other, no longer strangers in God's house. We are fed and we are nourished by the strength of those who care, by the strength of those who care. We are companions on the journey, breaking bread and sharing life. And in the love we bear is the hope we share. For we believe in the love of our God. We believe in the love of our God. We have been gifted with each other, and we are called by the word of the Lord to act with justice, to love tenderly, and to walk humbly with our God, to walk humbly with our God. We are companions on the journey, breaking bread and sharing life. And in the love we bear is the hope we share. For we believe in the love of our God. We believe in the love of our God. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and will be forever. Amen.
Thank you very much.
everybody.
So we see you, Celine. You can invite the lay MMC, the associates there for this session every Thursday. The same, the same weekly, the same Zoom. Yeah, you can always come.
Yeah.
And the other
Yes,
fathers
I
too,
will.
and the other sisters, invite them. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Father. I will.
See you
tell
again.
them.
Okay.
See you.
See you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Have a good time. Have a good afternoon.
Robin, sisters, Father Ben, Father Ben.
Bye, Sister
Well,
Robin.
thank you.
Sisters,
Bye,
Presley.
Sister.
Goodbye,
Robin,
Father and sister.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
And Father Ben.
Yeah. Bin and Ben.
Oh, Bin and Ben.
Kumusta, Ben? Wala na ka?